AI is changing how we work, create, and even play. So here's what I've got for you. A rundown of some really powerful AI tools that everyone seems to be talking about. You might already be curious about how AI fits into your daily life, beyond just chatbots that spit out facts. Well, you're in the right place. By the time we're done, you'll have ideas on what you can actually use, whether you're a student, a content creator, a businessman, or just someone who wants to save time. People keep telling me AI is only for big companies with huge budgets. That's old news. Look at your phone screen. AI is behind your autocorrect and those face filters on social media. But we're going deeper. I've got 5 main tools that are basically the talk of the town for writing, art, editing, you name it. Plus, 5 honorable mentions that might make life easier when you least expect it. This is all based on personal testing and user feedback. I'm not here to hype worthless apps. I'll share the real deal. Let's jump into the first pick, which shook the world once it popped up. First up is ChatGPT. People talk about it like it's the ultimate assistant, and I kind of agree. You can ask it about almost anything. Marketing tips, book outlines, coding questions, random stuff. It's crazy how it can generate a thoughtful response in seconds. Whenever I have to brainstorm ideas for a new project, I'll type in a rough prompt. Something like, give me some cool angles for a social media campaign focusing on eco-friendly products. Then ChatGPT churns out a list of angles, each with possible taglines, color schemes, or partnership suggestions. That would have taken me at least a whole afternoon to do manually. However, ChatGPT does make mistakes, especially if you feed it incomplete info, or if it's something that happened 5 minutes ago in the news. It's not a mind reader, so you gotta clarify what you mean. If you give it good prompts, it can give you a massive head start. People also use it for coding help. Like if you write a bit of code and you're stuck on an error, ChatGPT can often point you in the right direction. Honestly, the reason it's a top dog is because it's so flexible. If you only remember one AI tool, it should be this one. Second on the list is Deepseek R1, which is creating buzz these days as a multimodal model famous for high-level reasoning and handling multiple types of data at once. That might sound too techy, but let me break it down. Most AI tools focus on text or images, or some single area. Deepseek R1 mixes them together, then tries to figure out deeper connections that might be hidden if you used separate apps. It likes to chew on different kinds of input, so it's great for those times when you have big sets of messy data and don't want to spend forever sorting it. People in marketing and research rave about how it reduces all those hours they spend tagging images or matching text references. It's not a typical household name yet, but it's gaining ground among folks who juggle lots of images, text, or complicated tasks. When you have it sift through everything, it provides a quick summary or finds patterns you might miss. That means less headache for you. If your world involves scouring through informational chaos, maybe big image libraries or heaps of text, Deepseek R1 is a no-brainer to try. That's why it's right behind ChatGPT on my short list. Next up is 11 Labs, which feels tailor-made for voiceover work and audio content creation. If ChatGPT is the all-around genius, then 11 Labs is the one you reach for when you specifically need realistic, human-sounding voices on demand. I gave it a trial run by feeding it a short script and selecting a style. Within seconds, it generated a voice so lifelike, I almost did a double take. The cadence and tone shifted naturally, sounding more like a genuine speaker than a robotic narrator. Teams also find 11 Labs handy for creative collaborations involving podcasts or video productions. It can adapt its voice to fit the mood, whether you're going for upbeat marketing copy or an emotional chapter of an audiobook. It won't solve all your scripting challenges, but if you've ever struggled to find the perfect narrator at short notice, 11 Labs can be your ace in the hole. Some people use it to fine-tune character dialogues for story-driven projects. Others just have fun with playful messages. Either way, if you need an AI partner that can speak from the heart, or at least sound like it, 11 Labs is a solid choice. Fourth on the main list is Midjourney, the AI tool that translates words into visuals. If you can paint a concept in your head, Midjourney attempts to spit out an image that captures it. It's a dream for anyone who wants to see their random thoughts turned into art. I once typed in something like, "girl on a playground on a rainy day," hallway down a slide with an expression of joy and laughter on her face. Midjourney came back with images that I would never have been able to draw myself. The style was consistent, the atmosphere was unique, and it gave me multiple variations. Some folks rely on it to test branding ideas. Others use it to generate backgrounds for online posts or concept art for video games. It's not going to replace a professional digital artist if you need something super specific, but it can help you figure out a style or layout instantly. The key is learning how to phrase your prompts well. Once you get comfortable with that, you'll be amazed at the variety you can produce. The fifth tool in the spotlight is CapCut, an AI-driven video editor that's perfect for quick, eye-catching clips. Think about how many times you want to make a short video, but find the editing process too tedious. CapCut tries to reduce that pain by automating stuff like captions and background removal. If you speak a line, it can automatically generate subtitles and snap them onto your clip. That alone can save you from typing everything by hand and adjusting timings for each word. And if you want a new background, you just press a button to remove the old one. Perfect for when you have limited space or can't afford fancy setups. A friend of mine used CapCut to make product demos for an online shop, and she loved how fast it was. If you're focusing on content for social media, short commercials, or even personal vlogging, CapCut makes everything simpler. You don't need a strong editing background, just a bit of curiosity and a willingness to tap on those AI options. So those 5 are the top picks everyone seems to be buzzing about. But let me mention 5 more that deserve your attention for specific scenarios. The first honorable mention is Perplexity.ai, which helps you track down exact answers across the web instead of feeding you endless lists of links. It's like AI-driven research, scouring the internet for the best matching data. Great for when you have a question that might usually lead to a million open tabs. Instead, Perplexity.ai hunts through sources and attempts to summarize it so you don't have to do all the reading. For instance, if you're digging into a niche topic and don't feel like comparing 20 different websites, you can ask Perplexity. Does it always give the perfect response? Not necessarily, but it's better than sifting through Google pages hoping you click the right link. If you do a lot of research or just don't have time for deep manual searching, this is worth a shot. Next on the honorable mention list is Character.ai, designed for interactive storytelling and conversation. It's a little different from the typical chatbot that tells you the weather approach. Instead, you can set up characters, give them personalities and backgrounds, then talk to them like they're real. Some folks treat it like a creative writing buddy. Others just want to see how an imaginary character might respond to silly questions. It's almost like you're hosting a virtual improv session. Character.ai is also a fun way to prototype dialogues for comics, stories, or even brand mascots. You could build a friendly pizza-loving alien or a wise old historian, then see what they say when you throw random questions at them. Obviously, it won't match the depth of a real human conversation, but it's surprisingly entertaining. If you enjoy storytelling or just want to play with new ideas, you might enjoy giving it a spin. Then we have Microsoft Copilot, which feels like a sidekick inside Microsoft Office. Think about your day-to-day tasks in Word, Excel, or Outlook. Maybe you've got giant spreadsheets or you have to sift through a bunch of emails. Copilot aims to make that stuff less painful by offering suggestions, spotting patterns, or summarizing key info. People who spend most of their day in Word or Excel may find it saves them from at least some of the dull grunt work. Let's say you have a massive email chain with 20 people chiming in, and you only want to see the final decisions. Copilot can cut straight to the core points, so you don't read walls of text. It's not going to solve all your problems, but it's a step toward that dream where your software feels less rigid and more in tune with what you need. Microsoft's tool is fairly new, so features may evolve, but if you're tied to Office apps, it's worth keeping on your radar. Another popular helper is Grammarly. You might already be familiar with it for spotting grammar errors or clunky sentences, but it's been stepping up its game by letting you paraphrase text, adjust your tone, and even fix awkward transitions. Picture this. You have to send a formal email, but you're not sure if it sounds too stiff or too casual. Grammarly can tweak it so you come off as polite but not robotic. Or maybe you wrote an essay with complicated language and you'd like to rewrite it in simpler terms. Grammarly can do that too. People often imagine it's just a basic spell checker, but it's more advanced now, offering suggestions that go beyond "you spelled that word wrong." If you're writing a lot, Whether it's for class, for work, or for a blog, this tool's like having a friendly editor who points out what you might be missing. The last honorable mention is DeepL, which specializes in top-notch AI translations. We've all tried using online translators that deliver strange or stiff sentences, especially when we go between languages that don't share much in common. DeepL does a more natural-sounding job. People say the translations feel a lot closer to how native speakers actually write or speak. That matters if you're doing business overseas or collaborating with teams from different countries. Imagine you've got a stack of documents in French, and you need them in English without losing the right meaning. DeepL's engine usually nails the nuances better than typical free translators. It's still worth double-checking if the text is super important, but for day-to-day usage, it's a huge help. If you find yourself crossing language barriers often, or even occasionally, DeepL might save you from embarrassing mistakes or clumsy wording. Now that we've covered 5 main stars and 5 strong backups, let's recap the big ones. ChatGPT, great for drafting, brainstorming, or debugging your writing. Deepseek R1, perfect if you're mixing data types and need advanced reasoning. 11 Labs, the voice behind your ideas. Midjourney, the go-to for turning words into cool digital visuals. CapCut, made for easier video editing with AI perks. No matter if you're a student, an entrepreneur, or an artist, you might find at least one of these fits right into what you do. I like how each tool is strong at something unique. We often waste time juggling tasks that these platforms can streamline. If you're like me, always busy, you can't ignore the benefits of speeding up your workflow. But you don't have to jump in blindly. You can try a free plan or a demo, see if it's got what you need, then decide if it's worth keeping. The AI space is moving super fast, but right now these are the standout tools. They each solve a real problem, not just gimmicks. And even the best AI tools aren't mind readers, so you still need to be clear about what you want. But once you figure that out, they can be a serious boost, cutting down the time you'd normally lose doing repetitive tasks or combing through data. We're in a world where AI is no longer just a futuristic dream. It's already quietly shaping how people work and create. If you haven't jumped on board, give at least one of these tools a try and see what happens. You might discover a new way to handle old problems, or you might get that surge of inspiration you've been missing. Enjoy exploring, and remember, you can always swap tools if your needs change. Each one has a community and a bunch of tutorials out there. You don't have to be an expert to see results. Sometimes it's just a matter of picking the right prompt or toggling a certain setting. All right, I've said enough. Thanks for hanging with me until now, and I hope this was helpful. Please like, subscribe, and share.